tons of clips. But before we get into the actual news around the SEC, I don't want to say I created some news of my own, but I was recently on Texags Radio with David Nuno, and had a little hot take on the show. Let's kick it over to just this little clip.
Hey, you talk about hate mail. I'll pick some up right here on my way out. But I keep seeing all these lists with Jimbo Fisher far and away better coach than Ed Orgeron. And I know LSU was a disaster last year, but heading into that, he was 45-10 in his time at LSU. So I take exception to people that think Coach O is some horrible coach that can't get it done. I think he's one of the best in college football. He's right up there with Jimbo Fisher.
Right up there? Right up there?
I got him right up there.
History? Longevity? What Jimbo's able to do, and his
what he's done at LSU, though, has been very, very impressive.
Okay. I would take Jimbo 100 times out of 100. But, Michael, hey, I appreciate your time. We all have opinions. And
I figured I'd get this kind of reaction from him, talking about Coach O and Jimbo and kind of having them eye to eye. But I don't know. I just really think that we all get caught up in, what we just saw, what just happened. 2020, of course, disaster for LSU, the best season yet of the Jimbo Fisher era at Texas A&M. So very, very easy to see why people are having Jimbo Fisher as a better coach from Ed Orgeron. And I'm not even necessarily saying that's inaccurate, because Jimbo Fisher does have a long track record of success, won a national championship at Florida State. He's got Texas A&M basically knocking on the door of another one, or at least an SEC title. But of course, if you win that SEC title, you're right in the thick of it for the national title. So broke down a couple of the numbers here between Ed Orgeron and Jimbo Fisher. I'm going to go Fisher first. 26-10 overall at Texas A&M, 17-8 in the SEC. Now he's 3-0 in bowl games, and here's how his Texas A&M teams have finished in the division under his leadership: 2nd, 4th, and 2nd. Now you can debate the order of these, but I've kind of gotten together his biggest wins: beating Florida last year, number 4 in the team in the nation, beating number 13 North Carolina in the Orange Bowl last year. That was a big one. And LSU in 2018, the 7 overtime game. I'm not trying to totally discredit the rest of this guy's, what would that be, 15 SEC wins, but look at some of his SEC wins on the road since coming over to Texas A&M. He's beaten South Carolina in 2018 on the road, Ole Miss in 2019 in Oxford, and then they fired Matt Luke right after that. And then last season's really kind of where he got it rolling. Beat Mississippi State in Starkville. Again, won at South Carolina in 2020. Of course, they fired Will Muschamp. Won on the road at Auburn. Of course, they fired Gus Malzahn. And then at Tennessee, last game, regular season game. And then Tennessee turned around and fired Jeremy Pruitt. So, when you look at it like that, it's not like Jimbo Fisher is winning a ton of road games here in the SEC. Now, let's be fair to him. It's only been 3 seasons. He's got plenty of opportunities this upcoming season. Now let's kick it over to Coach O. 45-14 overall, 28-12 in the SEC. So those records are looking better than Fisher. 3-1 in bowl games, 1 SEC championship, 1 national championship. Here's how Coach O's teams at LSU finished in the division under his leadership: 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 4th. So you're seeing a more consistency from Jimbo. We'll give him the edge there. I think it's a little not consistent enough for LSU fans, but hell, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and 4th, pretty damn good. And biggest wins, of course, national championship over Clemson, beat Oklahoma in the playoff, and beat Alabama on the road 2019. Coach O's also 2-0 against Georgia under Kirby Smart. And then last season, I continue to count that as a huge win, winning against Florida last season, 20-something point underdog. Gators were looking playoff bound, lost with a true freshman, Max Johnson, starting on the road, first game ever. So, again, not necessarily saying that Coach Orgeron is the greatest coach in the country or anything like that, and Jimbo Fisher's terrible. People always seem to read that into these conversations here, these debates, if you will. But I think they're pretty even at this point. Now, next season maybe next season goes a long way to determining which one is the best coach. Coach O gets to host Jimbo. Head to head, these coaches are 2-1, with the 7 overtime being the edge there for Jimbo. Neck and neck. So, you could almost say they're dead even. Of course, the scoreboard says favor Jimbo just slightly there. But I can't wait for this matchup. Last game of the season in 2021, and I think it could decide the winner of the SEC West.